Let's review how to facilitate a training at the Levolor Smart Machine in store. The first thing you will need to ensure that you have reviewed prior to the training is your Smart Machine Facilitators Guide. This is your training go-to. It's going to walk you through best practices, facilitators notes, the flow, your order of training in total. So make sure you're very familiar with this document and ensure that you're utilizing it throughout the training. It is perfectly acceptable to use that document as you train your Lowe's associates. As you get into your training, make sure you're reviewing with them the benefits of the Levolor Smart Machine. This technology is matched nowhere else in the marketplace, so you need to get your associates excited about the technology that we have to offer here at Lowe's. The first thing that I would suggest you review is starting at the top of your machine and you're working your way throughout the different features and benefits. So let's start with the touch screen. The touch screen is really going to be the brains behind the Smart Machine. You can see there are a number of screens that are not only useful for the Lowe's associate, but also for the consumer. We're going to get into this a little bit more, but you will see that there's a learn how to measure your windows, and there's a help me choose a blind or a shade for my window. So there's a lot of great knowledge here on the touch screen, not only again for you and for the Lowe's associate, but for the consumer. Now a little tip about the touch screen. You only use your fingers. The pads of your fingers are what you will use to click through the screens. It is a heat sensor. You want to encourage your associates to never use anything but their fingers. No tools, no pens, nothing like that. It could damage your screen. So please make sure you're using the pads of your fingers, and also share with your associates you need to keep the screen clean so it picks up the heat sensor of your fingers easily. Next, let's talk a little bit about the internet connection. It's called the Smart Machine because it is hooked up to the internet, and it truly is so smart. There is an internet connection cable that runs through this machine and has been dropped into your Lowe's store. What that internet connection allows this machine to give you is real-time data on what is being cut in the store, day in and day out. Levolor is able to collect information such as what day of the week are blinds and shades cut the most in the store? What time of day are they cut most in the store? What product is being sized most frequently? What sizes are your products being cut to most frequently? And that can truly help Levolor become better product managers and provide the right window treatments in stock at Lowe's based on what's cut the most. An example of something that we've done in the past to provide a product for the Lowe's stores based on Smart Machine data would be our 54-inch tall vertical vane packs. We found in coastal areas that vertical vane packs were being cut from 84 inches to 54 very frequently. And so now we provide that SKU for most Lowe's stores because of the data that we receive from the Smart Machine. Next, let's talk about machine operation. From the phase machine, where it used to take multiple blinds and shades 7 minutes to be cut from the start of your cycle to the end of your cycle, the Smart Machine can now size those blinds and shades in under 2 minutes. So that is a huge improvement on productivity, and it really does make the machine operation much more easy and much quicker for the consumer. So they don't have to wait as long, and you can cut more blinds and shades throughout the shift. Now let's talk a little bit about the looks of this machine. You can see it's very clean, it's sleek, it's modern, and you always want to encourage your Lowe's associate to keep it looking clean. You will notice that there are no stickers or signs on the exterior of this machine, and we want to keep it that way in stores. So make sure that your associates are keeping this nice new piece of technology clean and ensuring that it's working properly because of the cleanliness. The work surface is the next item that you would want to review. You'll see here on the work surface, you can easily place product on top of your work surface, unpackage it, measure it with your tape measure after you've cut it, and really use this as a working area for tools, tape, etc. So this work surface is also a nice benefit as all of your products are being cut here in the product drawer, so you can really use this very effectively. One tip I want to give you on our work surface. You never want your stores to stack heavy product on top of this surface because over time it can damage and make this surface bow, and it makes it very difficult for the product drawer to open and close, and that does put you out of business. So make sure people aren't stacking a lot of heavy product on the work surface. Next, let's discuss storage. You will see you have a great cubby compartment here on the right side of your machine that easily flips up, And this is where you can store commonly used tools such as your screwdrivers, your tape measures, tape, box cutters, scissors. All of those items can now be kept here in the storage cubby, and when you're done, you can close that storage cubby and put them away, and again, your machine stays nice and clean. Last, let's discuss the communications binder. This binder should be found on all smart machines throughout the country. Typically, they are stored here in your storage compartment, but this houses a lot of really great information for your store associates, such as a communications page. This allows your store associates to communicate with you and with Compact Power Services, our company that services the smart machine. So please make sure they have copies of this page. Next, you will find a smart machine troubleshooting guide. This has multiple pages of more of the common issues that we see with the smart machine. It's outlined by problem, solution, and if the problem persists, who to contact. Please make sure you're familiar with this information so you can help solve those issues at the store level. You will also find some great machine diagram photos here towards the back of your communications binder. This is really going to give you and show you the anatomy of the smart machine and help you understand how to speak the same language as your Lowe's associate, as well as Compact Power Services. So if you need to understand what a different part or piece is called on this smart machine, if you need to call it in for service or to discuss some aspect of this with your associate, you can easily use this diagram to ensure that you're speaking the same language. Again, this communications binder should be found on all smart machines, and it's a great tool to ensure that your Lowe's associates are familiar with. Now that you've trained your associates on the features and benefits of the smart machine, let's show your associates the proper way to utilize the touchscreen. So you will see there's a fantastic track loop and screensaver that shows at all times on the smart machine. This is showing advertisements of our beautiful custom window treatments to help inspire the consumer of other products that we offer in our custom assortment versus just custom size now. To get into the screens, all you do is touch the surface, and this takes you to the home page. We're going to walk through each of these different icons. The first being, learn how to measure your windows. This is a great piece to review with your associates to ensure that they're using the proper methods when selling to consumers. This is also helpful for consumers to teach themselves how to properly measure window treatments for both horizontal and vertical blinds. For example, let's click on Horizontal Inside Mount. This reviews the 3 specific places to measure the window width, the top, middle, and bottom, as well as the 3 specific places to measure the window height. These bullets will also give you good tips. For example, use the narrowest width when measuring your windows and use the longest height. You'll also see website information for more help, as well as a reference to our in-aisle brochure. Let's go back and look at outside mount for vertical blinds. This is also a tricky window measurement that some consumers can be confused about. So this is again going to show you the proper way to measure for the width and the height for vertical blinds. It also gives you a great recommended overlap for all areas of your window when measuring. Again, you can use all of these different aspects to really customize your measuring techniques for the window treatment that you want. To get back to the home screen, you will simply touch the Home button. And next we can look at Help me choose a blind or shade for my window. From this screen, it will show you all of the different product categories that are offered at Lowe's for Levolor Custom Size Now. Let's look at natural woven wood, for example. Once you click the product category you're interested in, you will see a number of different selling features and benefits, beautiful photography of the product along with the packaging so it's easy to find in aisle, and then all of the different finishes that are offered in stock. So this is again great for those associates who may not be as familiar with our product categories, and great for consumers as they're in shopping the different Custom Size Now products. If you click Next, this screen is going to be shown for all Levolor Custom Size Now product categories. Just a reminder to the consumer to take their measurements to an associate. The associate will trim that blind or shade for free, and it can be installed in their home perfectly today. So great reminders for the consumer. Again, I'll click back on the home screen. Now, let's discuss associate login. There are two different logins that you need to be familiar with. If you are in the store and training your associates, meaning that you are just cutting product for practice, not to be sold for a consumer, you will use a specific login of 003003 and then press Login. This is used and it tells the computer and the internet connection not to track the cuts. So it will not keep track of those practice cuts when you enter 003003. That is only for you as an Advantage sales rep to use when you're training. If I go back, I'm going to click the exit button and then click my screen again and select Associate Login. If you're in the store selling and you're helping a consumer and they're buying product to be cut on the machine, and for your associates, they will use this login day in and day out, they would enter 007007. So that is the login that you use when you're actually cutting product for the consumer. And that's what tells the smart machine to collect that data and information. So I'm going to select Login. Next, you will see a screen that asks for your sales ID. Every Lowe's associate has a specific sales ID number, 5 or 6 digits that are specific to them. So they would enter that sales ID at this time. For you as a trainer, you would just enter 6 zeros. So 000000 and enter. Again, just enter 6 zeros for your sales ID and that logs you into the screen. Once you are at the screen, this is where you would select the different product categories to be sized on the smart machine. If you see this screen at any time during your training, that's okay. All you have to do to get past that screen is touch the screen and it will keep you at the same place where you were prior to that flashing up. Essentially, for safety purposes, the machine will time out and give you that screen that asks, do you need more time? If so, just touch the screen and it'll take you back to where you were on the touch screen. Now that we have talked through the features and benefits of the smart machine with your associate and shown them the benefits of the touchscreen specifically, let's walk them through how to cut each product on the Levolor smart machine. So for training, again, we're going to log in with 003003. Once you get to the home screen, it will show all of the product categories that are sold for Custom Size Now. I will show faux wood as an example. Let's pretend that you're going to teach your associates how to cut faux wood. You will see once you make a product selection, you will find every different packaging style that could potentially either be on the shelf or be returned by a consumer. All you have to do is match the packaging that you are trying to cut with one of the photographs here on the machine. We will start with end caps not previously cut. What's important to note for every product category is that there are pictures and text that walk you through step by step how to cut every blind and shade category. The suggested flow for cutting blinds and shades during training would be to start with faux wood in the box, as shown here. That's the product category that's sold the most and cut the most, so always start with faux wood. Then you will take faux wood out of the box and cut it out of the box. So just to come back and show you that as an example, I'm going to log back in to get to my home screen. Select faux wood, and for example, if a customer or consumer brings back a blind that has already been cut and they need just a little more cut off of the width, maybe a 1/2 inch. They've taken their blind out of their packaging and they've brought it back with no packaging, but they need more cut off the blind. You would select no packaging, and then again the screen will walk you through each step. So you'll start with faux wood in the box and out of the box for the cut process. Move to cordless cellular, in the box, out of the box. Woven wood, in the box, out of the box. Vinyl or aluminum mini blinds, cut in the box and out of the box. And then finally wrap up your class with vertical blinds, both the headrail and the vane packs. That is the proper flow for using each blind and shade throughout the cut process in your machine training. Next, don't forget, always work with your associates and teach them how to maintain the machine and all of the proper steps for machine maintenance at the end of each cutting class. You will want to be logged into your home screen for this process because you're going to open trash drawers and empty those bins. So make sure that you're logged in so you can do that process and walk them through the importance of machine maintenance at the end of every blind cutting class. Let's review the key takeaways on how to train and facilitate machine training for the Levolor Smart Machine. Some reminders and best practices. Ensure that your classes are only involving between 7 and 10 associates at a time. This is going to make your class manageable and ensure that all associates are able to participate and get hands-on experience with the machine. It also allows everyone to get close enough to the machine so they can see what their peers are doing. Next, when you're starting your class, make sure that all attendees introduce themselves, share how long that they've been with Lowe's, and also share their comfort level with the Smart Machine on a scale of 1 to 10. That will help you gauge the in-depth training that you need to give to these associates and make sure that you're tailoring your presentation to their needs. Next, prior to your training, ensure that your Smart Machine is clean and has all necessary tools to utilize while training on all product categories. You also want to make sure that you've got samples of product that you can cut during your class, again, so your associates can get that hands-on experience with the product and the machine. Last, don't forget that all of the documents that we've discussed for your communications binder, as well as your facilitator document and any other associate supplementals, can be found in your doc locker. That facilitator's guide, again, will share facilitators' notes for you, good flow for your training. It will give you a listing of which products to cut in which order, which we reviewed, starting with faux wood, ending with verticals. And it will also review that very important machine maintenance process from start to finish. So please use the tools that you have available for you in your doc locker. Thanks so much and happy training.